Hello, grade six. You have made it to the due date for your summative work. So let's go through a few things today. There's not much to do. If you need to make some last minute changes, you'll have time. But I just want to go through a couple of guidelines on how to turn in your work. So, question of the day: how do I turn in my work? How do I prove all of this work I've been doing online for the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks? All right, so same learning objectives as we've had all week. And today, you're in the Ed Puzzle now. You need to finish Noodle Tools, making any last minute changes, looking at comments based off of yesterday's lesson. So I'm really pleased with those of you that have been taking the information from the lessons and applying it to your work. Finally, you're going to finish and submit any visuals that you need to, and then ask any questions. All right, so let's go through what that looks like. Okay. The checklist for today is basically all of our activities, which are Ed Puzzle, reviewing Noodle Tools, turning in your work, asking any questions. All right, so you are going to have an assignment today in Google Classroom that is just for you to provide evidence. So, ancient civilization presentations. All right, I'll add some more instructions here. This was just us playing around with it earlier, making sure it would work correctly for you. But there's not going to be anything attached except for directions on how to turn in your work. So, the first thing you do is going to open that up. So, get to the assignment page in there. All right. Then, if you notice, I zoomed in a bit. There's a you work section here, your work, that says add or create. And then I think this one underneath says turn in. So, you need to hit the plus button to add or create. Okay. It gives you a lot of options here. You can add things from your drive. You can add links if your work has a link, or you can add files. So, we're not going to really create anything new because you should have been working on this already. But we'll look at these first three, okay? So choose the appropriate addition for you, for where your work is. I've had some kids work on really cool things at home and they've taken pictures of it, and that's great. You just need to click File and it will put your pictures there, okay? All right. Some of you have been doing Canva or videos and we need that link provided, all right? And then, of course, Google Drive. So, first thing I wanted to show you was if you just want to add something from your drive. I know Sarah has been working on a game and she has this planning document where she was just planning out all of her ideas for her game. And she also has pictures. So, she could first add from her Google Drive this, and it just happens to be very recent that she worked on. So, she's going to click on that and click Insert, and that will upload it to her work on Google Classroom in this assignment. Okay. Now, if you are choosing, I'll go back one, to do something from Google Drive, okay? Just want to be extra clear. You need to be careful about your share settings because you might upload it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm allowed to read it. So, I just showed some examples from the slides I was just in. If you want to get the link to share that and change these share settings, okay? So I clicked on share up here in my Google Drive, and then I clicked this little change button here, and it brings this drop down menu, and I click that, and it can either be restricted, which means I could share it with just 1, 2, 3, 15 people, or it could be everybody in our system, or it could be anybody with the link. For the work like this, I would just change it to anyone with the link, and then you can copy the link and hit done. Okay, just make sure the share settings are set so that anyone can read it. All right. So, if you need to add a link because you did something like a Canva or you did a video, those things are not necessarily going to be in your drive unless you've added them. And I might not be able to access them, especially if you're using something. I know one student was asking me about Soundtrap, which I don't have an account for, but you can add links and things if you need to, as long as it's in a way that can, like the settings are set for sharing. I'll be able to go and see what you've done. So if you need to click that, you click link, and then it says here, add the link. Okay. So let's look at what an example of that might look like in Canva. Okay. This is a student who shared a link to me, but they didn't change their share settings. So this is what I got when I clicked on their link. And you can see I was logged in as a teacher. I had to request, which could take back and forth, several days. So if you want quick feedback as fast as Miss Jones and Miss Carnes and all other teachers can get it to you, you need to make sure that you've given us access to your work. So let's look at Canva. Okay. So you go into your Canva account, you're looking at all of your designs. You click on your design, you choose the appropriate one. In this case, we opened up this one. It's titled Pine Cones, and they went to share. They could maybe download, but we could do it a little faster if we just hit share. So they decided to hit the share button, and then there's some share settings. So we want to make sure that we can view this. So you could hit that drop down menu and it would give you more options. So she set hers to view, and then she can copy the link. Okay. And now it says, great, the link is copied. Then she comes back here to her Google Drive and she hits the link and she clicks enter, and it will pop up under your work. So it will show what you have attached. So it's basically saying she's attached that work to this assignment. Okay. Now, when she hits submit here, the turn in button, this is what I see. She has two attachments, one being this Canva, and the other one being from earlier. Go back. This one, her Google Drive document. So you can upload multiple things as long as you're careful about those share settings, okay? And just to clarify, I know I'm scrolling through these really bad. I'm just trying to, or quickly, I'm trying to go back and find the one. Here is how Google looks like, okay? I think a lot of you did Google, so that's great. Like Google Slides. Those of you who made videos or things, that could be a little bit trickier if Miss Jones is not super familiar with the video editing platform that you used. So, most of you are pretty tech savvy on those things. You just forget to do this. It's not that you don't necessarily know how, but just make sure that you are editing those things and double checking to make sure that they can be seen by others. Because I know I've done this before. I've shared videos and things with you that are not shared, and then you can't open them and watch them. It's very frustrating. So, I put all these slides in here just to guide you a little bit. So, mostly just uploading your work through the different options, adding everything that's evidence, and then hitting turn in. Really what you need to do, right? But if you want to go and clarify some share setting information, you can go back through the slides, and then all you have to think about is, did I turn in my work? And when you're done with that, congratulations, you are done with your summative work, and Miss Jones can get to grading. And if you have some extra time, I did link in the CNN 10. Okay. So I'm really proud of most of you that have really been amazing communicators and on task and working so hard on this. And the teachers, other teachers, and I are going to be working so quickly to try to get you feedback. And we'll talk about that on Monday, what that might look like. If you have any questions, don't forget to go back to the Google Classroom question stream. That's been working out really well for some students. And you have the slides available to you to keep reflecting and going back, making sure that you are able to share your work. All right. Have an amazing weekend.